One of the great things about CSS is that we can separate the appearance of our web pages from the actual implementation and semantic markup. I can create web pages like I've always done using my semantic elements such as header. I can add titles such as H1 for this news organization. I can add other semantic elements such as article, or even semantic elements such as footer. And these have meaning within my application. And it makes it easy for me to hand this off to other people in my organization who want to add content or maybe want to design, because they can infer meaning from these semantic elements. But CSS is special because CSS allows us to design these elements and keep that design separate from the HTML we're making on a page. So I'm adding some more HTML to my page. I'm adding some lorem ipsum text for an article. I'm adding a header 2 element for a breaking news story, and a header 1 element at the top of my page to specify that we have a news organization. It's going to be in my header. At the bottom of my page, I have a footer, and I'm just specifying 2015 Amazing News Corporation. So I'm going to save this and view it in my browser. And I'm able to see that I have this nice little page, news organization, breaking news story, my articles, and my footer. So header, footer. But notice the actual header and footer and article elements don't actually have an appearance. They don't render any specific way. That's because, again, the semantic markup is separate from the look and feel. Designers can work on new CSS for my application or web page, and I'm able to work on the markup separately. So the designers can release a new version of design, and they don't have to go and change my HTML. If the designers release a new version of design, I can add more content to the page, add more HTML, and the designers don't need to go and do anything in the CSS to support my new elements. I can just add more articles, I can add more footers, and I know they will have the design that the CSS designers intended. Different people within my organization can work on a web page at the same time. So let me show you through a simple example how we can use CSS to drive this. So I'm going to create a new folder called CSS. Within this folder, I'm going to create a file called design.css. And before I use it, I'm going to reference it on my page. So link to the style sheet, ref equals CSS design.css. Save. So far, no changes. That's because my CSS doesn't have anything defined. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to start off by specifying a background color for my body element. So here, FBF 8E5, which is a nice yellowish tannish color. I'll go refresh my page and see that this new body color, background color, has been set. Again, no changes to my HTML. I can go in and set the color of all the text on the page. So 6E7 D9E is the color I'm going to choose. Maybe I want the font of all the text on the page to be Sego UI. I can do that too. So now not only is this text blue, it's also Sego UI. So I'm able to change the text color, do all sorts of interesting things. Maybe I just don't like this header. I want to make it more interesting. I can go in here and I can say header. And now my CSS style definition, I can say, background color of this header should be a dark color. So I'm thinking 08, 06, 07. But if the background is going to be a dark color, I do want the foreground to be a light color. So maybe A5, B7, C5. Save it, refresh, and now I have my new header. It's really interesting how everything worked out. I don't like the spacing here. The border is too close to the text. Maybe I can go in here and add a padding. I'm going to say padding. I want it to be padded by 10 pixels on the top and bottom and 20 pixels on the left and right. Refresh, and now I have my padding. Or that's actually the opposite. Now, what I like to do here is, now that I have the padding the way I want, so 10 pixels left and right, 20 pixels top and bottom, I like to go in and specify H1 header. So I can say within my header element, find all H1s, and I want to space the letters out. I'm going to space the letters out by 5 pixels. Let's see what happens. All right. Now it looks a little bit more official. The title's nice and wide. I'm very happy with it. I still have my article. I can do things. Maybe I can set a background color on the article if I want. But what I'd rather do is modify this H2. It's just not bold enough to me. So I'm going to say find article element and any H2s within that article element. And let's set the font weight to bolder. Relatively bolder than what it is now. I refresh and everything's good. So now I'm going to do some interesting things. What if I want to modify the footer? I can go to footer, say background color. And here I can do some interesting things such as A5, B7, C5. Because I kind of like that blue I used earlier. And we see everything's working out great. Maybe I do want to increase the padding there. So let's do 5 pixels, 10 pixels this time. And I got a little bit more padding on my footer. Very nice. I can even use CSS to add content. So here I'm going to say before my H2 tag, what I like to do is content 002329. And I'm going to make it orange. So orange I can think of as F9, C9, 89. And I could do the same thing after. So I can say after it, I'm going to do another ISO character. And this time I'm going to get the ISO character 232A. These characters are mathematical symbols for angle brackets. So once I refresh, you'll see I have angle brackets both before and after my header. So I can actually add content to the page using CSS. So now I went from a page with no design. So if I take this out, went from this page to this page using simply a CSS style sheet.